Well, g'day everyone, g'day champion, how you doing? Welcome to Murphy's Magic Stumped. Today we have a special episode for you. Evoke just dropped and I can't wait to get into everything Evoke with you today. It's going to be absolutely insane and I'm really excited for it. So welcome everyone in. Good to see you. Everyone's popping in from YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. We're live on literally every single platform, so good to see everyone here. G'day Jonah, g'day Jay Plays. Look, I think let's get into it. If you've got any questions, we've got some mods in the chat, so feel free to ask any questions you got going on. And will Craig Petty break the internet today? That's the first question everyone has to ask. So first things we're going to do is we're going to introduce the man himself, Craig Petty, my friend. How you doing, mate? Welcome in, my friend. Good to see you.
I am so excited. Finally, after creating magic and being in this industry for so long, I get to be on a live stream with the Australian superstar himself, Mr. Beau Kramer.
So, you're going to get someone else coming in? What's the go?
I'm done. If I die tomorrow, I'm dying a happy man.
Mate,
that's it. Every goal that I've wanted to hit in life is accomplished right now. Stop
it. You're making me blush already. I've only just started. Jeez, Jiminy Christmas. I need a cold shower after this stream. How are you doing, mate? It's a Evoke day.
I'm a box of fluffy ducks. Like, I'm just great. You know, I've been answering questions about this for the last week. I've been trying to keep up on Facebook pages, and I've been trying to keep up with the Magic Cafe and all the different places that people are talking about Evoke, and I've been trying to answer every question. And yeah, I'm super excited to talk about it now. It's so cool that it's finally come out and it's ready. You know, we've been working on this for so long. So, you know, it's probably about 1.5 years, 2 years in the making. So it's exciting that I can actually talk about it now and I can answer questions and tell people everything that they need to know.
Well, let's get straight into it. But before we do the deep dive into everything that is Evoke, my sweet Craig Petty, shall we check out the trailer for everyone that hasn't seen the trailer yet? Shall we check out the trailer? All right.
Let's do it.
Roll the trailer, baby!
What the just happened?
So crazy.
Like, if he wasn't genuinely confused, then he's a better actor than I'll ever be.
I want you to pick somebody at random that you don't think I could have intersected.
Excuse me?
You just sleep down. In a moment, I'm going to give you a card. It's going to be in plain English, but you're not going to be able to differentiate what the card says. Stop. Take it, put it to your chest, don't look at it. Okay? So take a look at what it says. Try telling them what it says.
I can't get it.
Mentalism is the ultimate, intimate performance.
When you were younger, you felt this quite a lot, but not so much now. You kind of got over it when you got older, right? And it's bringing back memories of what you were thinking of nervous because you were very nervous when you were younger. Is that right?
Okay.
6 of hearts, 3 of clubs. Not much really there for your spectators to relate to, but these? When was the last time you experienced kindness, or joy, or suffered some anxiety, or indecisiveness? Your spectators can relate to these emotions because we're all human.
This was the worst situation in your life, a situation where you felt you weren't in control. Have you got the anxiety card in your hand?
Oh my God.
You're able to relate intimately with your spectators, and mentalism with these cards becomes a uniquely personal experience just for them.
Touch anyone at all.
Wow.
That one there, are you sure? Positive? I think you've got love. Turn it over.
How the hell?
The Evoke deck is designed for mentalists to create deeper emotional connections with your audience.
What was the emotion?
Anxiety.
Anxiety at the age of 7.
Yeah.
And that was shuffled into the 7th position by you, and you had a free choice of any emotion. Turn it over.
What the heck? What the? That, what?
It's a shortcut into their inner world. Designed by Phil Smith, these inspirational posters hide so many devious secrets and principles, it's almost impossible to list them all. Give them an out-of-this-world experience to empower them.
You made all the choices. How do you feel you did? You started dealing negative cards. You made the decision to switch around about there. And at that point, you decided to deal
No way, man.
positive.
Can I swear?
Of course you can.
What the f***?
Create a direct link into their inner feelings and discover connections otherwise impossible.
If you have a look at the images that I've got and the images you've got, I'm going to place a card face down. You're going to place yours face up. I'm always going to put mine face down first. Place one face up there. I think I know what it is. Okay. So I went for the sunrise, the water, the tree, these two.
If that's not enough, the mother of all book test hides in plain sight.
Just touch any card. Have a look at the quote. Read the quote a few times in your head. First letter. It's a D. You're thinking of disappears. But hang on, let me see if I can get the emotion. Upset.
Yeah, mad. I'm honestly speechless. I don't really know what to say.
Reveal a name they are merely thinking of.
Who were you thinking of?
Johnny Depp?
You were thinking of Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Get lost. That's mental. What the hell? That's a joke. How would you know that?
And that just scratches the surface. In the over 5 hours of instructions, Craig Petty goes over every feature and nuance of this mentalist dream project. Then he's joined by Petenardy and Pete Turner, where they reveal secrets, principles, and concepts that will elevate your performances even further.
Fairly sure you picked patience.
Yeah.
Connect with your audience on a deeper emotional level.
For real?
Create unique moments tailored to your spectators with the power of Evoke.
That's impressive. That is mad.
How would you know that I thought that?
That's nuts. I've never seen that done in person.
Jiminy Christmas. Slap me silly and call me that mate. That is insane. I've watched that trailer so many times. I was literally just saying, like, it's like a 6-minute long trailer, and it just gets you in the feels every time.
Oh, big shout out to the guys at Murphy's, Matt and Lloyd and George and those guys. They nailed that trailer. And that trailer was shot over the course. That's how long we've been working on this. That trailer was shot over the course of about a year and a half. Like the footage, some of the performances with Pete Turner and the tutorial with Pete Turner was shot at Blackpool last year. Then the footage with Ian Roland was shot like a week ago.
Yeah.
Stuff with Petenardy was shot about 6 months ago. And then I've been doing live performances throughout the year and just keep sending footage over to Murphy's. Like, so, they did a great job with the trailer, and it's been a long time in development.
Oh man. Yeah, I remember seeing it at Blackpool when you first started showing me, and then again last year. I think last year was like, you actually had like a full proper prototype in your hand and you're like, check this out. I was like blown away. You showed me the marking systems then, which we're going to go over all that in just a little bit. But man.
Absolutely. I want to be, by the way, anybody watching this stream, I want to answer any and all questions. I know in the Magic community, normally it's a case of, well, you got to buy the trick to learn the secret. No. I'm so proud of Evoke. Anybody that's got any questions about anything, be it the marking system, the stack, the effect, whatever it is, you name it, I want people to buy this with their eyes wide open. If you want to get it, I want you guys to know that you're making the right decision. So there are no stupid questions. Whatever you've got, come at me.
Yeah, let it rip, tater chip, as they say in the biz. Now, I want to. I think they say that. I read that on a bumper sticker somewhere. The first thing I want to get into is a lot of people asking about languages. I know there's a lot of people asking about languages. Literally just then, will it be available in another language?
Okay, so with regards to languages, that's a Murphy's decision. That's not anything that I can decide on. Obviously, in order to have it reprinted for different countries, it's going to add more cost, and there would need to be a demand there. I imagine, from a business point of view, that's not a question that I can answer. But I can say is I do a lot of work for foreign dignitaries. So there's where I live, just up the road, there's like a big, massive company, and they book me constantly to come in and do meet and greets with people from various different countries. And Evoke is something that I do all the time in that environment. Now, obviously, it's in an English language. A lot of the routines are based on the images that are on the cards. Any of the routines that involve the images, you're obviously not going to have any language issues. In terms of the names of the people, again, you're probably not going to have any problems. The quotes you might have an issue with, but to be honest, there's only 2 or 3 routines that use the quotes. I don't know about the emotions or the names of emotions. I don't have a problem turning around to somebody and going that most people know what boredom is and what these various different emotions are, but I don't know. That's a decision you have to make. You live in your country. I don't live in your country. But in terms of the actual cards themselves, this is how they're printed, and I don't think we'll be bringing any other languages out anytime soon. But again, that's not a me question, that's a Murphy's question. And but as I say, you could probably do 50% of everything that you could do with this. You could do with the imagery on the card, the out of this world, the all of that. It's all based on the images. A lot of stuff is based on the images. The Quran principles built into the images. So from that point of view, you're not going to have a problem. There's more routines built into just the images on these cards than most other tricks would have total. But obviously there's certain things with these cards that you couldn't do if the person you're performing it to doesn't understand English at all. So
I was honestly blown away by the things with the images too, because I have some questions for you as well, and I wanted to ask you a few. And we spoke on the phone previously about a lot of the stuff that it can do and how your workings on it. And when you said the crown principle was put into it, and also the out of this world routine, That bit of
there's lots
Turner's one was
routines that are
insane.
built into it.
Yeah.
There's lots of routines that are built into it. So the thing with the images, if you don't know what the Kranz principle is, so this is Evoke. This is an Evoke deck, right? Okay, we can go into this a little bit later on, but as we're talking about images, let's talk about the images. One thing that I built into the images was it's the Kran principle. Now, if you don't know what the Kran 101 deck is, it's a special deck of cards where there's 4 cards that repeat, alternating with regular cards. So they deal through the cards, they say stop, and you're always going to end up on one of the 4 force cards. Now, the problem is that when you do that with a deck of cards, you're going to have repeats in the deck. So you're going to have like 10 4 of clubs. You're going to have 10 2 of hearts. And the routine structured so you don't see those duplicates, but they're still duplicates. These cards have the same 5 images repeating throughout. So you've got a flower, you've got a tree, you've got mountain range, you've got a waterfall, and you've got the ocean. And then you're back to a flower, you're back to a tree, you're back to a waterfall, a mountain range, waterfall, and ocean all the way through. But there's no duplicates. And the reason there's no duplicates is because every flower looks different. Every mountain looks different. So this flower, for example, looks completely different to that flower, right? So because of that, you can literally, if you wanted to, well, and by the way, the imagery is marked on the back as well. So there's a few different ways that you could do this, but you could have someone pick an image and tell them what the image is. You could predict what the image is. Pete Turner's got a really nice ESP matchup routine using images. So he takes out 2 flowers, he takes out 2 mountain ranges. He has a wonderful tossed out deck routine where he literally hands the deck out to people, has them shuffle the cards, looks at the image, somebody else looks at the image, and he does a tossed out deck with images. You can do drawing duplications with the images. The negative emotions are in black and white, the positive emotions are in color, so you can do Out of This World or 10-card poker deal again with the images. So yeah, there's a lot built in to the imagery on these cards, drawing duplications and more than you possibly realize. So yeah, I mean, does that answer your question, Beau?
That answers my question more than I'll ever know.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I heard Matt laughing in the background there, so I think he appreciated that.
Absolutely here, the legend himself.
I love it. Yes. Whoa, I was about to say, that was a very good peace sign there. You didn't even move. I love that. Well, I think the next thing we want to start talking about is probably some people asking about the marking systems themselves. Did you want to get into the marking system itself?
Let's get into the marking system. So, so basically, Phil Smith created the marking system. So that's all you really need to know. I should end there. Phil Smith created the marking system. That's all you need to know. And when I spoke to Phil about having these cards marked and exactly what I wanted to have marked on these cards, he was like, I don't even think he thought it was possible. And then he came back with the perfect marking system. And when I say perfect, I genuinely believe that this is the perfect marking system for a few different reasons. And the first reason is you can't see these marks. If you're a magician and you're looking for the marks, you're not going to be able to see them. So that's the first thing. But the second that you see the marks, but the second that you understand how this marking system works, you'll see it straight away. And it's I always say to people, it's a little bit like if you remember that thing that went on Facebook a little while ago, where you've got that cigar and the cigar's hidden in a wall and you can't see that cigar until somebody points it out and then you can't unsee it. It's the same thing. Now, unlike a pack of cards, for example, normally with a pack of cards, you would mark a 4.5 for the 4 of hearts. We're marking full words on this. And that's what makes it so easy to see. Now, my eyes are shot. My eyes are terrible. But I can see these marks as clear as day in a dimly lit room just by glancing down at my hand or glancing down at the table. The second that I look down, I immediately know what the thing is because we're marking the entire word. Now, I gave you, Beau, a alphabet, the original design that Phil came up with, which I think you put on the screen there.
Yes.
So if you look at that marking system there, it's an alphabet. Look at the square at the top left. That's an A. Then look at the next one. It's a B. Then if you keep going through, you'll see that those marks, that's basically an alphabet system. Now, if I bring this close to the screen there.
I'll bring you up full screen.
Yeah. So if you bring this close up to the screen and you look at the top line and you think of every single square as a letter, you're going to see an A, you're going to see an N, you're going to see an X, you're going to see the word anxiety. And then there's an X at the end to tell you that's the end of the word. So you're going to see the whole word. The second you know what that is, you can see it immediately. It's ridiculously clear. It's stupidly clear. So if I hold another one up to the screen, this is boredom. You can see that immediately. Yep. B-O-R-E-D-O-M. So you immediately know what the word is. Now, the cards are marked. An Evoke is designed to be done shuffled or not shuffled. So if you want to have it in stack, you can have it in stack. Now, if you do have it in stack, it's an alphabetical stack running from A through to Z. So A is anxiety, B is boredom, C is confident, D is depressed, E is ecstatic, all the way through to Z, which is zest. They're stacked, right? So I can literally have them cut the deck, take a card. I can look at the bottom card, which is M, merry. I know that this card is going to be N, which is nervous, right? I know that because obviously the stack. However, I didn't want people to have to remember the emotions. I didn't want to have any memory work at all because I've got enough that I'm trying to remember. I'm memorizing an entire deck of cards. I don't want to memorize something else. So there's no memory work here. And the reason is, what we did is the second line down will tell you what the card is next in stack. So, for example, if we look at this, let's just cut the deck and get a random spot. Yeah, perfect. That's perfect. So you can see, actually, let's go to the top of the deck so you can see it at the top. Hang on, let's do that. Give me 1 second. Okay. So there we go. There we go. Anxiety. So if we go here and we go back to this card, because we were looking at this before, you see that the top line there says boredom, right?
Yep.
If you look at the next line down, you're going to see anxiety. So the top line says boredom. The next line down says anxiety. Now, the reason for this is very, very simple. And there's a couple of different ways you can use this. So the first way you can use it is you could have somebody, for example, cut the deck, complete the cut. Your back can be turned. They can put the card to one side. And just by looking at the balance of the deck here, I see nervous. That tells me that this card is nervous. It had to be because I'm looking at the second line down. So I can turn away. They can cut the deck. They can complete the cut. They can take that card. They can hide it in their pocket. Only then do I turn around and immediately I can see that word is xenophobia. Boom. Immediately I can see that because of the way that the cards are marked. Also, I can have them touch a card. And they can touch a card. And when they touch that card, I can just complete the cut at that point. Look at this one. And again, I'm going to see nervous here because that's what the marking system tells me. Now, the other thing that I can do with that, and this is something that Petenardy talks about on the project, he uses this quite a lot, is you can tell them to think of a memory, because this is all well and good having them pick an emotion, but they're not attaching that emotion to a memory. And I think Evoke works best when you're having them attach the emotions to memories and attach the emotions to things that they've done or they've felt. So you can have them think of a memory or anything that you want to, really. Think of a film that you've watched, whatever it is. But let's say it's a memory. You can have them go through these cards with the faces towards them and find an emotion that they feel when they think of that memory. So they would go through like this. They would look at the different emotions, and you tell them to cut the pack when you found an emotion that you can relate to. And then they cut the pack. That your back's turned the entire time. They take that card, they put it in their pockets, and then when you take the balance of the deck back, look at that second line down. You immediately see, in this case, wonder, which tells me that they've picked wonder. So, and the cards are omnidirectional, which means that whether you've got them around this way or this way, you're going to see the same marks. It makes absolutely no difference. So that's how you get the emotions, but there's way more marked on these cards. So, for example, let me just bring this forward a little bit. I'm breaking the thing. If you look at the top corner right there, you're going to see a plus. That top corner is either going to have a plus or a minus. That tells you at a glance whether the card you're looking at is a positive emotion or a negative emotion. There are 13 positive emotions, there's 13 negative emotions. The negative emotions are in black and white, the positive emotions are in color, which means that when you're doing separations, like Out of This World, for example, it pops more clearly. So you can tell immediately whether it's a positive or negative emotion by that plus and that minus. Also, the one underneath tells you, like, can you see that M there, Beau, underneath the plus?
I sure can.
Yeah, that tells you the image. So that's a mountain. So we know that
Oh,
the
wow.
image here is a mountain range. So that's useful for drawing duplications because they can literally cut the cards anywhere they want to from a shuffled deck. You can then have them take the card, your back can be turned, and you can have them think of the emotion, think of the image, and you can draw the, a mountain range, and you're going to be 100% correct. And there's a bonus, you can even get the emotion if you want to. So that's marked there. Underneath that, those two boxes underneath will actually tell you the initials of the person that left the quotes. So that's marked on there as well, because there's people that have left the quote. There's a lot built into the people's names, which we can talk about later if you want to. But that is marked on the back of the card as well. But then the other cool thing that's marked on here is I built the mother of all book tests into the quote on the cards. So technically, it's the mother of all quotes tests. Now, what I mean by that is, right. So if you don't know what the mother of all book tests is, very, very briefly, it's a book. And when you open up the book, it's a specially written book. There's 9 or 10 long words in the book. You have them open up the book anywhere they want to, look at a long word, and you're forcing them onto one of the 9 long words. There's a couple of problems with it. The first problem is you need to work out what the first letter is, because the first letter is going to be able to tell you what the word is. So you have to remember the 9 long words, and then you have to pump for the first letter. Normally, a lot of people will go, I'm seeing a D. Is that right? No, what was the first letter? F. Oh, okay. And then that will tell you what the word is. Then you have to memorize the 9 words. And then the other thing is it doesn't make sense. The book won't make sense. If they read it, which nobody ever does, it doesn't make sense. So we built this into it, but we've eliminated all the negatives with the mother of all book tests because there's no memory work and the quotes make sense. How do I know the quotes make sense? I wrote them all myself. Every single quote I wrote myself, and I've got 9 long words that I built into each quote. So each long word is repeated like 2 or 3 times. So they can look through them and they all look different, but there's 9 long words. Now, you don't need to remember those long words at all. You don't need to know what the first letter is, because if you have the cards in stack, you have them take a card, or you have them, let's just come down here. You have them take a card, or you have them cut the cards like that. And you have them take a card and put the card to one side, right? In this case, boom, they take this card and put it to one side. Now, when you read the quote, and whatever quote you read, there'll be one long word. In this case, this quote is, "As long as you are true to yourself, then you will not ever fail. Then you will not ever fail in all your goals." So every word on there is 4 letters or 5 letters, other than yourself, which is 8 letters. They're going to think of yourself. Now, you don't need to know that, because when you look over here, remember the second line down, the first line down was the emotion.
Yep.
The second line down was the emotion on the next card. The third line down tells you what the Moab word is. So you can see right there,
yourself. Amazing.
So immediately I'm going to know. So I don't have to pump for that word. I don't have to pump for the first letter. I don't have to memorize anything. I don't have to do anything. I can literally, it's as clean as this. I can say, take any card, that one, great. I'm going to look away. I want to read the quote a couple of times and think of a long word off that quote. Make it tricky for me, maybe over 5 or 6 letters. I look down here, the word they're going to think of here is stronger. They have no choice. That is the only word they can possibly think of. So they think of the word stronger. And it's there. And also the one above it, fearless, tells me that their card is fearless. So I've got all the information here that I need. So you can do the mother of all book tests without actually needing to pump for the first letter and without actually needing to memorize anything. And the quotes actually make sense as well. Yeah, so that's the marking system.
That's incredible. And there's also talking about, like, I'm just thinking about, literally my mind is racing about all the ideas you could do with just this itself. That leads into the people that are on the tutorial itself.
Okay,
You got a plethora. Not only does this deck do a lot, you've got a plethora of people on the explanation as well.
Yeah, so I tried to assemble who I consider to be the greatest mentalists and the most knowledgeable creators in the world today. So, I mean, the tutorial is split into, I think, 4 sections. 5 sections. So the first section is a quick start guide. And that is literally just me explaining the principle, because I haven't even explained all the principles. I mean, there's more we can talk about.
Yeah.
There's lots more. But I talk about the various different principles. You can literally watch that and forget about the rest of the tutorial and just go for it. So for those people that say, for those people that say, oh, Craig's got really long tutorials, yes, I have. But you don't have to watch it all. You can literally just watch the quick start guide and then switch off, by all means. Be like my wife, don't listen to me. Then the second section is with Pete Turner. So Pete has a 2-hour masterclass on the Evoke deck and how he uses it, which is very different to how I use it. He doesn't really use the markings or anything like that. It's all about the emotions that are on the cards and how you can actually use those emotions to evoke a totally different experience with your spectators. And Pete's material is amazing. He teaches what I think is the best out of this world of all time, and he teaches it on the project, and he actually teaches it, and not only does he teach it, it makes more sense than playing cards because you're dealing with emotions. So when you're doing this out of this world, you're having people think about, does this card feel positive or negative? And then they separate all the negative and the positive emotions. And if you've never seen Pete Turner's Out of This World, it's very, very different to, there's no packet switches or anything like that. And because you're only dealing with 26 cards, it doesn't go on forever either, which is great. But Pete's section is brilliant. And then we have the godfather of mentalism, as far as I'm concerned, Petenardy, who is, I think he's a very underrated creator and performer. Alakazam and Petenardy, I think, have released more mentalism than any other person on the planet. Pete knows his stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And when I showed him the Evoke deck, he was like, oh, you can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this. One of my favorite things to do with Evoke was Pete's idea. So Petenardy had the idea of using Evoke to enhance a name reveal. So if you do if you use a Peak wallet to have somebody think of their best friend at school, for example, and then you reveal their name, anyone who's done mentalism will tell you how strong that is. Absolutely, for sure. But if you attach Evoke to it, my God. So one of the performances that you guys will see on the project, and this happens a lot, but one of the performances, I went up to this woman and I was like, think of your best friend at school. And she was like, yeah. I was like, write her name down. And she did. Then that gets put away. And I say now, and this is all Pete's idea. I say, look, I've got some of these motivational posters here and they've all got different emotions on them. Can you do me a favor and go through and find an emotion that you feel reminds you of your friend? And when you've got it, put it away in your pocket and then just let me know. And my back's turned. I'm just not paying attention at all. And she does that. And so now I then, I've got this time misdirection and I take the cards back and I put them away. And I see that she's thought of she's took the card xenophobia. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, xenophobia. So then I take, I get my peak, which is great because it's happened way after she's put the card in the wallet. I get the peak. And then I'm like, right, okay. And we'll talk about Ian Roland in a minute, but this is like the sort of thing that Ian teaches on the project, which is, I say now, I asked you to think of your best friend at school and you did, but this is somebody who you had a falling out with, like at some point, and it was pretty serious and you've not spoken to this person since. And she started freaking out. I was like, there was a moment that happened at school that you went one way, she went the other way. Your paths didn't cross again because you really disagreed with a position that she took on something. And she was now freaking out. She's like, I've never told anyone about this. Not even my husband knows about this. Get out of my head. It's the strongest thing that I've ever done, ever. And I just turned around to her and I was like, you were upset because your friend was racist, or you felt your friend was racist. She was freaking out. Like, she was completely freaking out. And then I told her the name, which was strong, but the name reveal didn't even hold a candle to the fact that I basically described this thing that happened to her that she's never told anybody. That right there is the power of Evoke. And that's all Petenardy. Petenardy also talks about how to do a 10-card poker deal with it, which is just brilliant. And there's tons of stuff. So then we get on to the fourth section. So you got quick start, then you've got Pete Turner, then you've got Petenardy, then you've got my section. And basically in my section, I talk about how you can actually take classic card routines and how you can adapt them to Evoke and really kind of take them beyond what they normally are. So you think of an any card, if you think of a oil and water, for example, oil and water is a great trick. Hey, look, the red cards and the black cards can separate. But if you do it with emotions and you say, look, you take out 4 positive emotions, you take out 4 negative emotions. Now we're going to mix them together, because in life, we're not always positive. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have had moments in life where you're up and you're down and you're high and you're low and you're all over the place. And one day you wake up in the best mood in the world, and the next day you're really pissed off and you're pissed off at the world and you don't really know why. That's because as people, that's human nature. As humans, that's what happens. You know, we're high and we're low. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? Well, one way you can deal with that is positive affirmations. If you think positively, positive things will happen. If you focus on positives, then you'll find that the negatives will separate away from the positives. And you're just doing a oil and water. But now this oil and water has meaning. Now this oil and water is something beyond just clever sleight of hand. Now this is a way to demonstrate to people the power of positive thinking. And it gets completely different reactions. People don't look at it as a sleight of hand trick. People look at it as like, what? Same with ambitious card. One thing I do is I take out all the negative emotions and I say, right, take out a positive emotion. Have you ever been through life where just like everything is getting on top of you and it's just negative, negative, negative? We'll take out all the negative emotions. Now give me the positive emotion. This positive emotion, this is the one that you value more than anything else. You do a tilt and you put it apparently into the middle. You do an ambitious card. You say, if you focus on that positive emotion, it doesn't matter how negative you're feeling that day. If you focus on that positive emotion, that'll come to the top, and that's all you'll be able to think of for the rest of the day. Ambitious card can be more than just a card coming to the top of the deck. Ambitious card can just freak people out. And I teach that in my section. And then we've got the man, Ian Roland, who is the greatest cold reader in the world, as far as I'm concerned. He is the leading expert at making Magic memorable. And he came in on the project at the very last minute because he saw Evoke and he wanted in. And we got up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to get him to be part of the project. We went down to the Magic Circle headquarters and we filmed a masterclass with Pete Turner, looking at how to make Magic memorable, looking at how to actually take your performances to the next level, and how to cold read and warm read with Evoke. And he created, and how he did it, I don't know, because he had an Evoke deck for like 48 hours. And he came to the shoot with like 5 brand new routines, like that used Evoke. And the last one, all of them were great, but the last one is and I'm not going to tip it to people, you're going to have to get it. It's my favorite routine on the whole project. And oh my God. So yes, it's multiple hours long, but there's more live performances that you can shake a stick at. There's Ian Roland, there's Pete Turner, and there's Petenardy, all of which are better at mentalism, and they're far better at everything than any than me in a million years. And then you've got me as well. And I think look, here's the thing. Let's be honest with ourselves. If we go back in a time machine and we reverse back and we go back 20 years, back to when I had hair and I was thin, if we go back that far, right, and that's a long way to go back, but if we go back that far and you bought an L&L DVD set and you had an L&L DVD set where it's like, hey, you got this guy spending 2 hours talking about cold reading, you got this guy spending 2 hours talking about how to make card magic memorable, you got this guy, the leading mentalist in the world, talking a masterclass on how to evoke emotions in people, and you've got this guy talking about how you got all of that, and you've got 8 hours and it was over 4 DVDs and there were no props and it was £100, people would drop £100 in a heartbeat. Without the actual products, people would drop £100. This is what $35, something like that.
Yeah,
$35, $40,
$39.95.
Yeah, and $35, and you're getting a masterclass by some of the leading mentalists in the world, and you're getting the Evoke deck designed by Phil Smith. Okay, I'm passionate about this because I think this is absolutely amazing, but I think that's insane value personally, but that's just me.
Well, let's not take your word for it. Should we jump into some people that have actually given their first impressions on it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's jump over to them now.
I've given you like the Evoke 101. What do you think?
This could replace card magic.
It's one of those decks that every mentalist is going to want to have this.
There is so much in Evoke that is amazing.
This is not just a deck of cards, this is a tool.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
I mean, you're looking like a rock star as a mentalist right away with just no memory work.
The marking system is really clever.
When I didn't know what the marking was, I'm not just trying to hide this. I couldn't see the markings.
It's just all there in such a devious way that hides in plain sight.
I was looking for the marking system, and I did not see it until you showed me it.
Diabolically deceptive, man.
You have built so much into this deck. It blows my mind.
It's kind of like a new tool set. It's a new toolbox.
My mind's just kind of racing with all the different possibilities.
People might not always remember what you did, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
I think this deck, if it's used well, can actually change people's life.
I mean, it's incredible what you have built in.
I could see this healing a lot of people's deep traumas that they might have, if done correctly and shown correctly.
Magic tricks amuse people, but things with mentalism really affect them.
This is the mentalism that people will remember.
And this is something that will literally go into my everyday carry.
And I will, 100% I will use this.
That's crazy. That's the best marking system for cards I've seen.
Well, you've created the best thing you've ever created, certainly for mentalists by miles.
This, it's like trying to find a reason not to get it.
This is one of the best products for the mentalist that I've seen in years.
Wow. If I had to sum it up in one word, wow.
This is one of the best releases you have done.
Wow.
100%.
Whoa. Sorry, I was just literally like, I took my headphones off there so I could listen to the guys chatting because I couldn't hear them through the stream. So many people love this.
Give a bit of a shout? Oh, are we back or are we not
We're back. We're back. Sorry, I was just, yeah.
Can I give a bit of a shout out right now to, I just want to give a shout, nothing to do with this. I want to shout out 2 people that I've just noticed during there. I've just looked at the chats. 3 people, actually. I just want to shout out very quickly. So the first is Jake Keane. If you don't follow, if you don't follow, I've got Matt next to me. He's just gone Jake. If you don't follow Jake Keane, do so. Jake is, I'm telling you right now, in the next 2 or 3 years, he's going to be the guy when it comes to mentalism. And if you haven't already done so, he's in the chat. Go follow him on YouTube. I'm a member of his membership, and Jake is incredible. Secondly, I want to give a shout out to Brandon Bennett, because this product would not exist if it wasn't for Brandon. It was me having a jam on Zoom with Brandon, and he started talking about how he has a routine where he's got blank cards and he writes emotions on them. And if we hadn't had that conversation, this product wouldn't exist. So please give some love to Brandon as well. And finally to Magic Orthodoxy, because, you know, if you, I've seen he's in the chat here, and his reviews are incredible. And I've just seen the Quantum Deck review. So thank you very much for that, buddy. So yeah, I just want to, shout out those 3 people. Sorry,
I appreciate that. That's good. Everyone's sending like some hearts and some love in the chat now, saying thanks so much to those guys as well. So yeah, Jake is the man. Love Magic Orthodoxy. So great. It's so good to see that all these people are involved in it. Sorry, I'm just responding to messages as well. So I'm trying to respond to chat. So again, I think that alone, you said that off when that first impressions was rolling, that you haven't even spoken about. There's 2 other things added to this deck.
Well, you know what? One of the questions that people get that I've been asking, that people have asked the most about Evoke is, how did Pete Turner hypnotize the guy in the bar at the beginning of the trailer? Right? How did he? Well, if you know Pete Turner, I mean, there's no script there. He just completely improvised that, and
they just looked into his eyes.
Yeah, that was not real hypnotism. I'll tell you that right now. But the guy, I'm sure the guy felt like he was really hypnotized, but it was pseudo hypnotism. You know, but basically you get a bonus card, and this is the bonus card. It's the indecision card that is just completely jumbled up. The quote is jumbled up. The name of the person is jumbled up. Everything is jumbled up about it, right? Okay, so it's a jumbled up card. Now the reason for that, very, very simply, is so you can do that presentation that Pete did at the beginning of the trailer. And there's a few different ways to do it, but the simplest way to do it is literally to just have the jumbled up indecision card on the top, and on top of that have where Where's it gone? There we go. Have the indecision card. So literally, when you want to do this, you just force a card on somebody, and you force the jumbled up card. You get it to hold it to a chest, blah, 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 get him to read it, get him to look at it and look at it and look at it. And then when you turn around to the audience, you just do a top change, and you're holding this to the audience, so they're seeing this now, and he says, tell the audience what you read. You can't. And it looks like you've taken away their ability to read, because the audience, it's a dual reality thing, but it's so strong. It allows you to do like 100 monkey style thing, but with just one gimmicked card. So that's one card that's actually included as just like an extra gimmick or an extra thing that you can do. And the other one is this. So a lot of people have spoken to me about, I don't do NLP, but a lot of people have spoke to me about NLP and how you can use this deck as a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. And the colors obviously help with, the negative emotions being in black and white, and the colored emotions being in the positive emotions being in color. But also, you get this card, which is the anxiety card, where the anxiety has been shrunk down really, really tiny. And the reason for that is purely because in NLP, when you take somebody's anxiety away, you have them focus on changing what it looks like in their head. And a big way of doing that is to have it shrunk down. So this is, if you're an NLP, or you want to do an NLP presentation, or you want to speak to people about removing their anxiety, using these two cards in conjunction with each other really allows you to do that. So this is kind of a unique card that won't be used by everybody. There's a couple of routines on the project with this card. It will not be used by everybody, but the people that use it will know exactly. And you can do color changes with it, obviously, and you can actually visually have them see it shrink down and then pop back up into size, depending on how you want to use it. The same with the indecision card. You can use that to, apparently scramble up all the letters. So there's so many different ways to use them, but these are the two bonus cards that you actually get with it.
Amazing. I saw that NLP thing and I was like, because I saw someone pop up in the chat before and said, I work with NLP, is that a possibility? And then I already knew that was coming up. So I was really excited for you to get into that. Thank you so much, mate. I appreciate it. There's just people going, hey, I'm trying to catch up on a lot of the chat too. There's a lot of people going on about some things, ideas that they can work with and the ideas they can do. People loving the 100th monkey principle. Is there some people popping up and saying, is there a possibility for like a booster pack in the future of having like different words and different things?
I've had a few people ask about that. They've asked about double backers, double facers, other emotion cards. Look, the bottom line is that's I could design that. Absolutely not a problem. I have multiple ideas because I've been using this for over a year, almost like a gaff deck expansion. It's something that I think definitely would work, but it kind of depends. Again, and I talk about this an awful lot, Murphys are a business. You have to remember that. This is being bought out by Murphys. They've spent a lot of time and effort and money putting this together. And because it's a business to Murphys, they have to see that it's financially viable. So it would very much depend on how popular Evoke is. And if it's popular and people are like, oh my God, that's amazing. I want to do this with it. I want to do this with it. One thing I'd like to do is to reach out to the mentalist community and basically just say, look, we're putting an expansion pack together. We're going to send people another 26 cards. It could be extra emotions. It could be extra gaffed cards, bring it on and really just get a bunch of contributors creating this gaff deck that can be used by the whole of the community. But in order for me to turn around to Murphys and say, I want to do that, I have to show them and say, look, Evoke's been popular. Look, people want it. Let's do this. So it very much depends on, we'll see. If nobody buys it, then no. But if people buy it, then I can justify spending money with Phil Smith to have something else designed. Yes.
That sounds like a great idea for me. So if everyone's interested, go sell out Evoke right now. And for everyone watching on YouTube right now, you can actually type in !US or UK and get a whole bunch of dealers popping in there. I can see people doing that already.
I've seen both George and I've also seen Austin Murphy in the chat over the course of this thing.
The boss is in, so I got to behave.
Austin Murphy, we want an Evoke expansion pack.
Yeah, that's it.
And in your pocket, Austin.
Everyone in the chat say, we need it now.
spend the cash, Austin. You know you want to.
Oh no, don't do that. I won't. What's going on in here? Oh man, no, everyone, people have started saying we want it now. Instagram's going crazy. Oh, good. It's good to see some people on Instagram too. It's good to see everyone popping up in Nicola Coppo popped in Instagram. Everyone's popping up in Instagram too, so it's good to see everyone enjoying it over there as well. Nick. But all right, all right. So I think what I want to do now is we've heard I know the one and only Petenardy has sent us a video in as well of him and his thoughts and ideas on Evoke.
Yes, he has.
Let's you and me take actually, I don't need to take a breather. You've been doing all the chatting, but let's give you a glass of water, take a second, and Petenardy's going to come in and chat to us and tell us everything he wants to tell us about Evoke.
Sounds good.
Oh, amazing. I love it. Peter, over to you, buddy.
Hi, Petenardy here, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about Evoke. I was honoured that Craig actually asked me to join him on the project as well as one of the contributors. And what I think Craig has delivered here with Evoke is more than just a trick. It is a tool that you can use for an array of effects. I mean, the effects you can do with this, or you could use it for, are actually unlimited. What Evoke gives you is a way to connect with your audience member. So one of the routines I share is a simple name peek, where you're going to peek a name of someone this person went to school with, or someone from their past, or someone that they've got a connection with now. But what Evoke allows you to do is actually dive deeper into that revelation, giving you more to talk about when you're revealing the name or before you reveal the name. Now, for me, I think that's very, very strong. So if you haven't done cold reading before, this is basically a tool that's going to help you do cold reading, because they're going to give you half the information there. You've just got to describe it. So for that alone, I think this is worth the asking price. But we've also added on there like a triumph routine, where I give a presentation on how people's emotions sometimes are quite topsy-turvy, sometimes they're on a high, sometimes they're on a low, and then basically the triumph routine itself ends up sorting out all the emotions apart from the one they're concentrating on. And I've given given a routine with multiple selections made, and also a version of a 10-card poker deal, which sounds a bit weird, but it's a 10-card poker deal with negative and positive emotions. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with the actual deck itself. I'm really interested. I haven't seen the full tutorial yet, so I'm really excited to see the contributions by Pete Turner, which I know are going to be amazing, and of course Ian Roland, who is the master, undisputed master of cold reading. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this myself. But Evoke, in my opinion, is a tool that everyone should own, whether you're a magician or you're a mentalist. Even if you use it in its basic form, it's phenomenal. But I think this will get your creative juices flowing. And if you've never done cold reading or mentalism before, I think this will give you a lovely segue and starting point into getting more confident with this. So Evoke gets my highest recommendations. I know you guys are going to love it. There's a lot of buzz about it, and quite rightly so. And I want to thank, obviously, Craig Petty and Murphy's Magic for allowing me to be part of the project, even though a really small part. So that's it. I'm Petenardy. Enjoy Evoke.
See if we can download it here.
Oh, sorry, guys. We're literally, while that was happening, Phil Smith just sent us a video on Evoke. So we're literally just trying to get a video of Phil Smith up for everyone wanting to see that. So thank you so much, Petenardy, for that, mate. I really appreciate that. Phil Smith just sent us a video, and apparently it's awesome. So we're just trying to work out how we can get that up on the stream. So if you just send me that, Craig, via Skype, I can actually open that up and save it in.
Yeah, I'm just downloading it onto my computer, and then I'll send it to you via Skype, and then we can play the Phil Smith video.
Well,
because
what I'll actually do is I will send it to you on Skype, and I'll hit the Dropbox link or the Drive link and save that. But I know you, so that way we can actually get into a performance, because you actually want to show us a performance. So I can save that while you're doing the performance.
Okay, hang on. So you just want the link on?
I think I've got it already.
Okay, hang on. Give me a second.
So let me just open that.
Yeah, give me 1 second, Beau.
Okay.
So chat on. There you go. Try that.
Okay, perfect. You sent it over. Perfect. Thank you very much.
No
Is
problem.
it?
I think
Is it an image, or it's coming up as an image, right?
it's a video.
It's a video.
It says MP4, 2 minutes.
I've got a PDF.
Evoke launch 2 minutes. Ish.
Okay. That's I've got 2 things coming up. It's downloading right now. So I think you want to get into a performance that you want to show everyone. So while that downloads, and then we can play this.
Yeah. I've had a few people ask me about Pete Turner's any card number. Oh, hang on. I've had a couple of people ask me about Pete's Out of This World.
Yes.
So I thought I could perform the Out of This World for everybody. And I've actually got Matt here.
Whee! Let's jump over.
You guys know Matt. There he is.
Yo, what up?
There he is. So I'm gonna perform this to Matt, and I think they're not gonna see us, Matt. They're gonna see they're gonna see the table here. So hopefully we can do this. Right. Okay. So I know you've seen this before, Matt, but you're gonna have to pretend that you haven't, if that's okay. So. I've got these emotion cards, Matt, and what they are is they're kind of mini motivational posters. There's different emotions. Some of them are positive emotions. Some of them are negative emotions. There's a whole bunch of them, but we're going to try and do something. Okay, I'm going to take out 2 emotion cards. I'm going to take out a positive emotion and a negative emotion. That's going to be the negative emotion. This one here is going to be the positive emotion. So hopefully you guys can see if I come down here like this. Can you see that? Can you see that, Beau? Is that seeable? Is that
I
good?
can see that. Yes, I'm just looking at both platforms. It looks good.
So we've got hatred here, which is how I feel about you an awful lot.
Okay.
And I've got love, which is also how I feel about you. I've got very mixed emotions about you, Matt, to be perfectly honest. That's okay. So what I want you to do is you're going to take this deck, okay? And I really want you to try and do this, all right? So hold the cards. And then what I want you to do you believe that if you think positively, positive things will happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so that top card there, I want you to think about whether that's a positive card or a negative card, and then deal it either there or there.
Yeah.
Okay, so bring your hand back a bit. Did you really do that? Did you really feel positive about that card?
Yeah.
Because frankly, you're doing a great job, because the positive ones are in color, the negative ones are in black and white, and that's a positive card. So you're doing great. I just want you to go through the rest. If it's a negative, if you feel negative about it, deal it over there. If you feel positive about it, deal it over there. Into 2 piles. Now, about halfway through-ish, you're going to feel the urge to stop. Whenever you feel that urge to stop, until then, just keep going.
There.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you want to go on, or
No.
you're happy right there?
Yeah.
So in your head, what I want you to do now is I want you to reverse. So you were putting all the negative cards there, you were putting all the positive cards there.
Mm-hmm.
This time, with the cards that you've got left, if it's a positive emotion, deal it there. If it's a negative emotion, deal it there. So you're basically just switching where you're putting the cards. Okay. You're doing great. Now, how do you feel? Now, how do you feel like you did?
I have no idea.
How many? Do you know how many you dealt in each pile?
No.
Let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you dealt 11 there, and so there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12, 13 now. So there's slightly more here than there are there.
Mm-hmm.
But think about this. You made all the choices. That was all made by you. And you said you felt each card as you put them down. Because what's really interesting is you started dealing positive emotions here, as we know. And you carried on dealing positive emotions down onto the table. and you carried on dealing all these positive emotions. Then at some point, you felt the urge to stop. And at that point, you carried on dealing negative emotions all the way down through to the very, very end. And over here, you started dealing negative emotions. And you carried on dealing negative emotions, but at some point I told you to stop. And you did. And at that point, you carried on dealing positive emotions right through until the very, very end. And that's a bit crazy.
That's more than crazy, Craig Petty.
I love that.
It is, right?
That's
my favorite
insane.
thing. I love that.
I love that. It's just so strong, and you can do it from a shuffled pack of cards. You can do it anytime you want to. It's just genius. It's one of my favorite things on the whole thing, and I'm so glad that Pete shared that.
Oh, there you go. There's the pop up on the window there, the video link. But I love that Pete shared that. That's incredible. Wouldn't be surprised from Pete Turner though. He's such an incredible mind, and there's so many incredible minds on this tutorial.
Mm-hmm. There is, and I can't reiterate it enough. That's one of the most important things about the project. That it's not just me.
Yes,
it's not just a Craig Petty project. It's a masterclass from who I consider to be the best mentalists, the best mind readers, whatever you want to call them. I think they're the best in the business, and I'm so lucky to have them on this project with me. I really am, because it wouldn't be anywhere near where it was if it wasn't for them.
Exactly. It's, you said, like you said before, Evoke isn't an effect. It's a tool. And speaking of tools, it is an incredible one of those. There's just so many incredible minds involved in this, making it bigger and better. And there's not just one routine you can learn from it. There's something out there for everyone.
If it wasn't for Brandon, it wouldn't exist. If it wasn't for Phil Smith, it wouldn't it wouldn't look as good as it does. And honestly, don't overlook the fact that these and the box that they come in, it looks not that box. I'm talking.
Well, I know we're gonna go to that one.
Yeah, it looks legit. That's so important. When me and Phil started talking about this, it was so important to us that, because we've all seen props where it's an everyday carry and it's meant to look like something that you get, but it actually doesn't look anything like it. It was so important to Phil that this looks just like what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a pack of cards with motivational posters on them that you pick up from a shop, and that's what it looks like. If it wasn't for Phil, they wouldn't look as good as they are. If it wasn't for Pete Turner, you wouldn't have so many incredible routines. If it wasn't for Petenardy, if it wasn't for in Roland, it wouldn't be the project that it is. And what I love about it is, a lot of the time when you're dealing with a stack, a lot of the time when you're dealing with a stack situation and you drop the cards and it's out of stack, you can't really do anything with it, right? Mm-hmm. If you've got a stack and you drop the stack, you're screwed. With this, if I shuffle this stack and I've got the cards stacked and I shuffle them, or somebody takes the cards and shuffles them, it's not a problem, because I've still got a metric ton of routines I can do with these, and the marking system still works. Yeah, the second and third line doesn't work because they're not in stock anymore, but I can still tell you that this is sincerity. I can still tell you this is quitting. Can still tell you this is rage. I can still tell you this is patience. There's still a bunch of stuff that I can do, so it doesn't matter if it's in stack. And a lot of the time I'll do on my channel tomorrow, Magic TV, you're going to see a Matt test. And when I first showed this to Matt, I filmed a 35-minute performance, and I barely even scratched the surface. 35 minutes of me working this and doing a 35-minute performance. And you see, I'm hitting almost every mentalism type of routine just with this. You carry this around with you, and you can do miracles with literally just 26 cards. So,
mate, you've blown it out of the water. To be honest, I can't even fathom the work you put into this. It's just been years and years and years of incredible stuff by everyone, and the amount of work everyone's put into this, they probably get nothing out of it. They're putting in their thoughts and ideas into this just because they love it that much.
Yeah,
it's mind-blowing to see that people come together over an effect or a tool.
And how often do you see that? You don't see collaborations like that very often.
You don't.
You just don't.
You don't. And I saw David Jonathan just pop in too. So, David Jonathan, good to see you in the chat, mate. It's good to see you. I think I've got this video sorted. if we want to jump over and check it out. We unfortunately won't be able to hear it, but everyone in chat will.
I haven't seen it myself yet. Can you guys tell me in the chat if Phil says nice things about me?
Yeah, we won't be able to hear it. So everyone in the chat, enjoy.
Hi guys, Phil Smith here. Welcome to the Shed. I'm the graphic designer and artist that helped Craig sort of do the visuals and bring the Evoke project to life back before it was called Evoke. And it's really exciting to see it finally make it out into the universe. People don't appreciate quite how long the development cycle is on these things quite often. And Craig never seems to be one to sort of rush these ones out. We have to do sort of prototypes and then he figures out the problems with it by going out and performing the gigs. We have to make changes and then go back and do all of these kind of things. But, you know, thank you so much to Craig to bringing me on the project. It's been really quite an interesting one to develop. I think we're sort of like breaking some kind of new ground in terms of the amount of useful information that's possible to code in on the back. But just that's my part of it. Of course, the rest of the project is sort of complex and fascinating. You guys might know that I'm also a mentalist and I develop my own mentalism stuff. And a lot of the time, what people in mentalism are focused on is trying to find a way to enrich the experience and make it more about the audience and the spectator rather than about you as the magician being the big I am. The idea behind Evoke when it was originally presented by Craig seemed to me to be an absolute slam dunk because it marries together some of these sort of very visual aspects of magic and some of the routinning concepts that I think Craig is very good at. And also the very powerful emotive content that that mentalism brings. And rather than dancing around it or trying to find a way to make it sort of obliquely in there, it is 100% explicitly about emotions. It's about invoking the emotions in people, I guess that's why it's called that, and giving them an opportunity to sort of externalize and express that. I'm very conversational in my performance, and it's the absolute perfect tool to be able to get into and integrate that kind of interaction and conversation with the audiences. And of course, because of the methods that are hidden in there, and there's a lot of them, there'll be one that suits your performance, then it's also going to be extremely hard hitting. My favorite part of doing a release like this is seeing what other people come up with it. Obviously, I can sit down, get a deck and come up with loads of different ideas. But I'm interested to see all of the stuff that Nardi and Peter Turner and Ian Roland have come up with. And then, of course, once it gets out into the universe, everything's going to get remixed. All of the different ideas are going to be flooding through. And we're going to hear about all of the cool things that people out there in the universe are doing with it as well. Can't wait. Congratulations, Craig. Smashed it.
Then you can ask me some questions.
Perfect. I'd love to ask you some questions. I think that is the time we want to open it up to people in the chat. If anyone has got questions for Craig right now, please throw them our way, and Craig will be happy to answer them. But he's loving performing right now. So if you want to see Craig Petty, the one and only CP, the big dog himself, do another performance, send some loves, throw some hearts up in the chat. We want to see.
God, I wish I could swear, but it's Murphy's. I'm not allowed to. Right. Okay.
You can say, Jiminy Christmas here. You can say Jiminy Christmas and
Jiminy Crickets.
Jiminy Crickets. Oh, we have to do another trick. I can't wait.
Jolly hockey sticks.
Jolly hockey stick. Jolly hockey stick. That is a thing I've never heard of, and I'm totally stealing that. I appreciate that. Yeah, everyone's throwing up hearts. They want to see another performance. So, Craig, would you be down to do another performance?
Yeah, let's do another performance. In fact, I'll do another performance to Matt, and this one I'll do without the thing so you can see his lovely face. And this is a principle that we've not talked about yet that's built into Evoke, so we can do this.
Sweet.
So,
while Craig does this, throw questions up in the chat, and we'll answer them when Craig is back. So I'm just telling chat that, and then Craig, it's over to you, my friend.
Cool. So, Matt, I've got these motivational posters here. There's a whole bunch of them, and on them there's different quotes, and the quotes have been made by various different people. There's entrepreneurs, there's motivational speakers, there's business gurus, there's sports people, there's celebrities, singers.
You Beau on there?
I'm afraid not. No.
Oh, what?
He didn't make
Furious.
Do me a favor, give him a shuffle if you want to, or do something like that. And then what I'd like you to do is have a look through the cards, but don't let me see. I'll look in this direction. And what I want you to do, you'll see that there's, like I say, loads of people that have left these quotes. Go through and just think of anybody, but somebody who you can visualize would be good. That would be awesome. Someone you can visualize, think of them. And when you've got it, just let me know.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah? Okay, good. So put the cards away. I don't want to see them. You can put them in your pocket or something. That's not important.
Yeah.
You done? Cool, brilliant. So this person that you're thinking of, I want you to imagine them. You obviously know what they look like, but I want you to imagine and think of their name. So in your head, look at the picture, think of what they look like, but also underneath, think of their name. And specifically, I want you to imagine that that name is in neon. In your head, I want you to imagine that the name's in neon. And I want you to imagine that it's what color in your imagination is that neon?
Orange.
Orange. Okay, that tells me absolutely nothing. Think of the first. Think of the first name. The first name, not the surname. The first name, and think of the length of it. Going back and forth. It's quite a short first name, isn't it? It's quite short. 3 letters. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
The surname's a little bit longer though. There's 5 letters in the surname.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or 5 or 6.
5, 6, 6. Yeah.
Think of the whole thing. It's interesting. This is somebody who. Okay, this is somebody who you're aware of their body of work because this is somebody you've seen. This is actually a celebrity. This is an actor. You're definitely thinking of Tom Cruise.
Yes.
There you go. So that's a principle. Thank you very much for helping there, Matt.
Thanks,
that's
Matt.
a principle that's built into Evoke, and it's Phil Smith's stupid principle that we've but used in a very, very different way. So what is the stupid principle? The stupid principle basically is that the names that are written on here, the people that have left the quotes, 26 cards, 26 people that have left quotes, only 5 of these people actually exist. 21 of these people are made up by Phil. Like there is no such person as Mateo Floyd. There is no such person as Roberta Curry. There's no such person as let's find somebody who's not Hugo Montoya. There's no such thing. There's only 5 names that they can think of. So when you give them these cards and you tell them to go through and think of one of the people that they can visualize, you can see them in your head. You're basically forcing them onto one of 5 names, which are Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, Matt Damon, George Clooney, and Johnny Depp. Now, about 3 years ago, through Alakazam, I brought a trick out called Gossip. Thank you. Forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I need to remember.
And it was basically a baby gag, but it used a principle to force 5 names. Well, the same 5 names that I forced in Gossip, I've forced here in Evoke. So you can literally, and this is one of my favorite things to do with this walk around, I can literally give them the cards, have them go through, think of a person's name. And if you go back and look at the trailer, when I was doing it to that blonde girl, I think that was in the center of Birmingham at some point, and I was like, who are you thinking of? And she went, Johnny Depp. And I literally turned the card over and she was like, how did you do that? I did that because there's literally only 5 names you could have thought of, love. That's how I did it. And there's a very simple system that I've got that's based on the name, the length of the name, that immediately tells me what the person is. But when you realize that you can very easily, with basically no fishing, get the name of the person that they're thinking of, even though it looks like it's impossible because there's so many names that they can choose from, there's so many different ways of using that. So I've got a routine on there where somebody apparently thinks of a name from here, and then somebody else thinks of something else that's based on that, and it's one ahead principle that's working together with the force of the name. There's just so much you can do with it. There really is. It's ridiculous. So that's built into there. That's the thing with the name that's built into the Evoke deck. And the other thing I want to say about this that we've not even mentioned yet is these are printed by the US Playing Card Company. These are like really good quality cards. It's not like they're now. These are, bicycle quality. They're great. So, any of your card slides that you want to use, if you want to do whatever with them, all of the slides will work with these as well.
They taste just as good as they handle. That's what they say.
Yep.
Yeah, we did actually have someone that said, "Bit was like, I'm sick of examinability. How edible are they?" So that's what I threw in today. Ananda wants to know, Craig, did you manage to nix during this interview from the bath? Beau wrote me a script that had put you in the bath for the whole duration of it.
Yeah, he wanted a picture of me in the bathtub, which is weird.
I actually want to do that as one of the giveaways. So if you want a photo of Craig in the bath signed by Craig Petty, let us know.
I will do that. I will do that for you. I will do that. No problem.
Okay. So I guess I spur of the moment giveaway right now. I don't know. What do we want them to do? Take a photo of you with your Evoke, and post it online. Tag Craig Petty, and we'll choose someone out. And you get a photo of Craig Petty in the bath. Oh.
Yeah, you know you want a picture of me in the bath.
That's all I wanted. I actually was going to Photoshop it just because you didn't send it to me.
Well, you know, actually you've got a picture.
What is going on? I've not got a picture of you in the bath.
No, it's mentally up there in your spank bank.
I have now. Really don't want it to be.
There's some people in the chat don't seem very interested in it, which is weird. People are going, no, what? No.
How bizarre.
But actually, some people, Jim's loving it. Jim says, bathtub Craig, yes, please.
There you go, you see.
See, everyone wants it.
One guy.
Well, actually, someone just said, that's all I needed to hear. I've just bought it.
What do we need to do? What do we need to do to avoid receiving a picture of Craig in the bath?
Anyone who doesn't buy it gets a picture of Craig in the bath.
Oh, dude, yeah. Actually, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll spam everyone's accounts that hasn't shared a photo of them with Craig's Evoke, and then everyone that doesn't have it will send a photo of Craig in the bath.
I'm actually catching up on some of the more recent comments. I can see it now. And Jonah Berg said, are we going to get a map test? Yes, a map test is going up tomorrow on my channel. And it was shot. I mean, here's some scoop. Here's something to tell you. And you'll be seeing this on the Matchumentary soon. I've been doing this thing with Matt for the Matchumentary. He's at the Bear Pit at Blackpool. His whole Bear Pit act is going to be Evoke. That's what he's going to do at the Bear Pit. So if you want to see Matt do this live at the Bear Pit, that's all he's doing is he's rocking up to the Bear Pit with Evoke, and he's just going to do that. That's what he's going to do. Because Matt he's been working with Evoke now for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Couple of weeks. And I shot a map test before I started teaching him Evoke. And we're going to put that map test up tomorrow. But yeah, he's have you gigged it yet?
Yeah.
So he's gigged it, and he's going to be doing the map test is going to be sorry, not the map test. The Bear Pit performance is going to be Evoke. That's basically what they're doing.
Amazing. And there's going to be more performances going up throughout the week as well. And then there's big
tons of performances. We're going to have like an Evoke takeover. I've got loads of stuff going up about Evoke. Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't want to see Evoke, stay offline, because everyone's literally. I'm watching our socials. People asking questions about it. So there's a lot of people talking about it.
Simon says mnemonics. There's no mnemonics. There's nothing to memorize. Nothing at all. The marking system just tells you everything you need to know. Nothing to memorize at all, other than how to do the tricks.
The markings tell you absolutely everything you want to know and more. Literally everything.
Yeah.
Manuel says, when is it available in Germany? It's available right now, Manuel. At your favorite magic dealer. There's some dealers in the links already. If you put in ! Maybe for Germany, maybe UK. And then I know Alakazam can ship internationally and ship to Europe for you. Yeah, there you go.
Questions. Do you feel the need to justify the deck? No, not really. I mean, the whole thing is, it looks right. It looks like it's meant to be. It looks like a box of motivational posters. You know, it just looks like what it is. So you go, hey, and the thing is, the way that Phil has designed these cards, everybody has seen a poster like that somewhere. Like it's true. I never thought about that. We have posters like that in our office.
The whole office downstairs is covered in them.
Because I'm a motivational speaker and I'm a big fan of having this sort of stuff. So this is iconic. If you just take these out and you say, have you ever seen these before? These are motivational posters. You've probably seen them. You know, sometimes there's a picture of a cat falling from a tree. Well, I normally say, hey, my son was on America's Got Talent earlier last year. And when I was going through LA, I saw this little bookstore and I bought these. They're really cool. They're for positive affirmation. But I want to try something because it's interesting that these have got emotions on them. And let's try something, not a trick, but let's try something with emotions. That's all you need to do to justify them, or just bring them out. You know, it's totally not an issue. It looks like what it's meant to be. So,
yeah, I was literally, while at the beginning of this whole stream, people were asking, why would you carry this deck around? And people were saying it looks like something you'd pick up from an airport. It looks like something you'd be getting on traveling. So people saying it looks like something that my aunt gave me.
Yeah.
To like,
and people talk all the time about everyday carry.
Yeah.
This is I've seen things like this in shops. If you go into shops, you will see things. Like when I first showed the artwork to Lloyd for this, he said Lloyd Barnes, he said Kaylee, his wife, has actually bought stuff like this in the past and bought it home.
Yeah.
It is the sort of thing that you would carry around with you. It does not look out of place at all.
Yep.
So, and it's the, yeah, so it's totally not. Have you ever had an issue with anybody?
Not at all. No, I just say exactly the same thing. That I went to LA recently and I found these in a quirky little store, and it just nobody questions it.
People want to know: is there going to be a jumbo size for stage?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, a few
Again?
people have asked that, and
Murphy's?
Luca mentioned that as well. Luca Volpe mentioned that to
That is
me.
a good question.
I would love a jumbo version for stage. You would love a jumbo version for stage.
Austin.
Again, Austin Murphy.
Austin.
I know you're listening to that. Like Netflix, when they cancel a TV show in the past, like the entire community that watched that TV show has sent stuff to the producers of the TV show in order to get them to renew it for another season. We need to come up with some sort of campaign like that. We need to have everybody send something. I don't know what. Like maybe because it was Beau's idea, let's get him fired. Maybe like
got an email
thing, but we need to send like something to Murphy's, care of Austin Murphy, for the gaff deck and for the jumbo deck for stage, and we just need to get him so annoyed that he's just like, okay, just produce it. I just need this stopping.
Yeah, stop annoying me.
Let's keep sending them photos of you in the bath.
That's
until
it.
They do it.
That's it. We send them photos of you in the bath. Send a photo of you with your Evoke deck in the bath to Austin Murphy, and we'll keep sending them until he puts his hand in his pocket. He produces a stage version, and he produces a gaff deck version. That's what we do.
Oh man. Okay. Yep. I'm not going to endorse this at all. I like my job. I like my job.
Calling to the Magic community.
Okay, if it's for the Magic community.
Murphys with pictures of you in the bathtub holding an Evoke.
Beau's like crossed his arms and everything. He looks terrified.
It's getting really sweaty in here. Moving on to the other questions. Yes, it is the size of a normal size playing card. It is made by United States Playing Card Company, so they're regular sized, poker sized decks. I'm still kind of confused right now. I don't know where to go from this. Jinx is an email to get contact. So Jinx, yes, what you could do is you could reach out to your dealer where you bought it from. So if people have had a couple of people saying they want to watch the tutorial now and start watching it. And get all the way. Nightbot is going to town on everyone in the chat. I need to sort out Nightbot. It's just give a warning to Magic Orthodoxy. I don't know what Magic Orthodoxy is saying in the chat. Anyway, yes, so if you've bought this, reach out to your dealer that you bought it from. And if you want to watch the tutorials, ask them for the tutorial link. They'll be happy to send it to you. But if you get stuck, come and let me know. Message me on Murphy's socials with some proof of purchase, and I will see what I can do there. I apologize, Magic Orthodoxy. He stopped spamming caps. That's what it is. Magic Orthodoxy writing too many caps. Sorry, Magic Orthodoxy. So I hope that answers your question. Sorry, Magic Orthodoxy. I think the issue was ED seat. There's too many capitals there.
ED seat is another everyday carry that I love.
Yeah, it's incredible. I have it literally right there. I love it.
Yeah.
I have the US and the UK versions for whenever I travel overseas to the States.
There you go.
There you go. Backstage information. Everyone's just saying they would love we need a waterproof deck now for the bath. We need a stage version. Everyone's just saying stage version. If anyone's got any more questions, we'd be happy to answer them. And we'll keep moving on. Everyone's just saying about their favorite Craig Petty EDCs right now, which is great.
Well, there's a lot of them. I like everyday carry. I like having stuff on me that looks like it should be on me. I think that's the thing with everyday carry. I think it's the best thing about an everyday carry. It's like, I see people posting, my everyday carry is my metal chop cup. And it's like, well, that's not really the sort of thing that you carry around with you. But, like receipts, keys, bills, coins, little pocket-sized packets of motivational posters. That's the sort of stuff that you might have on you. But, I'm a big EDC fan.
Yeah, that's it. No, I love it. The receipts just fold up into your wallet. But Merlin asks, is there refills? Again, Merlin, possibly. That's something we will look at here at Murphy's.
The thing I will tell you is I've been using the same deck for almost a year. I've been alternating between 2 decks for a year, and I've been performing it a lot. And they're just as good as new. Like they're fine. You know, it's not like you're going to be having cards signed with these. It's not like you're going to be doing, torn and restored emotion. Ooh, that's a good idea. Torn and restored emotion. It's not like you're. It's not like you're going to be doing Mercury card folds. You know, when I go to a gig and I've got a deck of cards, I'm going to wreck that thing and throw it in the bin.
Yeah.
But with these, you're going to bring them out to do whatever you're going to do with them, and you're going to put them away. So I don't think you need it, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, I don't think refills are needed. I think that. But maybe that's just me. I mean, again, it's a Murphy's question, and George and Austin can answer that. But for me, I don't think you need it, really, to be honest. I don't think it needs to have refills.
Yeah. No, I don't think it needs. Yeah, it's like you said, how quickly do you go through a deck? And this one isn't getting as much use as your normal deck would. Like, it's not getting sprung and it's not getting fiddled around with. It's there for like reading.
No, and you don't want to treat these things like a deck of cards.
Yeah.
You know, you want to. I normally, you'll see in the videos where I'm using them, a lot of the time I'm just shuffling them, because you don't want people to think, oh, it's a card trick with the. You're using them and holding them in a different way, is what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly. Craig, can this be used as a slide-free deck, or is that not possible?
Slide free, yeah. Most of the routines are self-working. Like, there's very few routines that actually require any sleight of hand at all. I mean, most of the routines are completely and totally self-working. There's a section where, that Out of This World that I performed earlier on, completely self-working. The thing I did with the celebrity reveal, completely self-working. I'd say probably 80% of the stuff is self-working. Like, if you think about it, if you're using the marks, I mean, this is no longer in stack. This is now out of stack. But even out of stack, you know, if I had somebody cut the cards and I completed the cut and I have them look at that card and remember it, I've already glimpsed the mark. It's self-working to say that that's Mary. You know, it's. So
I did 20 minutes at a wedding the other day, not a single slide.
He did, yeah. So Matt just did 20 minutes at a wedding the other day, not a single slide. Now, there's 2 reasons for that. The first reason is Matt can't do slides.
Not very well, no.
But the second reason is you don't need to with this deck. It's super easy.
Exactly. Because that was the next question someone asked. Flood Principal asked about the story of the stack. And people are discussing that in the chat. It's alphabetical.
Yeah, showing the stack is great. That's what I love about this. You know, I mean, I'm another Murphy's product from a year ago that I'm a huge fan of is ABC by Spidey. ABC is absolutely amazing. I love ABC. I think Spidey's a genius. But the problem is, if you shuffle ABC, it's completely stack dependent. So if ABC gets shuffled or gets mixed up, unless you have a backup plan, if you've got that guy that takes the cards and goes, hey, all right, okay, or whatever, you can't, and you can deal with that with audience management. But with this, I can go out of stack very, very easily, and I've still got the mark, so I can still do most of the stuff I can do when it's in stack. So even though it's designed to be in stack, it's not stack dependent. And if you want to put it back, and that's important because there's other things that you can do that you want to have it in a different stack, or you don't want to have it in a stack. And, you know, if you want to get it back into stack, you can do so in like a minute, if that, 30 seconds. A minute. The other thing I'll tell you, by the way, if you've got my Cube 52, a lot of the routines that were in Cube 52 cross over into this, and where you'll realize that when I'm not going to get into it now, but and I'm not saying like you combine Cube 52 with Evoke. That'd be weird. Look, I've got these Rubik's Cubes cards and I've got emotion cards. That's bizarre. But some of the routines in the 9 hours of tutorial on Evoke. On Cube 52. Think about that, Beau. If someone's got if somebody's never bought Cube 52 and they buy Cube 52 and Evoke, that's about 16 out. That's like a week off work to learn those 2 tricks. There's a crossover. Can you imagine that much, Craig Petty?
No, well, I mean, I live that.
You do, don't you?
I wouldn't recommend it for anybody else. The therapy costs a fortune.
But yeah, there is a crossover, right? So there is a crossover. And again, I'm joking about the length of the tutorial, but you could just watch the quick start guide and within 30 minutes, you've got everything you need to go. Honestly, if you've just watched this live stream, you don't even need to watch the tutorial. I've told you pretty much everything there is to know about these.
Well, you got to learn the routines from everyone on the tutorial. You've literally learned the basics and what the deck actually is, and then working from that.
And again, the routines, the information from Ian, the information from the Peters, that's the real gold on this project. That's the thing that I think is worth every single penny. The deck is great. Phil Smith is a genius. The marking system is next level. The principles that have been built into it, I don't think there's another deck that's got the grand principle built into it, the stupid principle built into it, the mother of all book tests built into it, the alphabetical stack built into it. Coupled with the marking system and everything else, there's nothing like this out there. And then you put into the fact that it's also all based on emotion, so you actually have a connection with your audience. It's incredible. But even with all of that put together, even with all of that, the real value is in the information from the people that have actually put time and effort to put their experience online for you to watch.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks to everyone that was actually involved in that. We really appreciate it. On behalf of Murphy's, myself, and even, I'm sure, Craig. But I was reading Marshall of Magic. He just said the marketing looks like runes. With all that organic style routines, it'd be nice how the organic, mysterious look of the cards.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
I never really thought of that. They look like a rune-style organic tiles. Rafferty just says, I once aged a whole year completing a Craig Petty tutorial.
Is that Rafferty?
That's on Instagram. You're not saying that.
If that's the Rafferty, is that Rafferty from the YMC? Okay. Again, another shout out. If that's Rafferty from the YMC, from the Young Magicians Club, then follow that guy. Rafferty's one of the best performers I've ever seen. Like, he is just incredible. His stage performance that he did at the YMC Young Magicians Club, was brilliant. He was just making glasses of water appear. He fooled the absolute pants out of me. Honestly, go follow Rafferty.
I saw Rafferty at Blackpool last year, and he destroyed me with a trick.
Rafferty is incredible. The future of Magic, Beau.
We're in good hands.
So bright.
We're in good hands.
So bright. People like Joseph Westbury, people like Rafferty, people, Near Evans is somebody else. There's so many, Henry Ferris.
Oh, yes.
So Eva Magic Girl, there's so many really great performers in that. It just blows my mind.
Yes, absolutely. I can't get enough of them. They send me the content on socials all the time. I'm just spend half my time looking at that. It's probably why I get no work done. So I'm just blown away by the skills and the talent that these kids have. It's incredible. I think everyone's just saying how much they love this and what their favorite effect of yours is. Any more questions for Craig before we wind this up? We're keeping a lot of his time. I know he's a busy man, and we're going to go respond to a lot more other people and on socials. I'm literally looking at other platforms where people need to get.
I don't know how you do your job, man.
It's busy.
I've just realized that the most exciting thing about this stream, as exciting as it's been, the most exciting thing is that I can obviously tell you're a Minecraft fan because of the diamond sword that you have in the background over there.
Mate, I'm not even going to show you the shoes I'm wearing right now. Actually, I will.
Don't tell me.
Minecraft Crocs, baby.
Whoa.
Actually, nah. So, oh man, stop it. We're gonna start talking about. I see your son in the Minecraft gear all the time, and I just want to chat to him about Minecraft. Anyway,
he's a huge Minecraft fan.
I think everyone is pretty happy. Everyone's saying I came in late. Can we start over? Sure, Serene. So welcome to Murphy's Magic Stump. Smolkin just asked, can they get a dad joke to wind up the stream?
Wow. Okay, I can tell you my favorite dad joke, but then I can tell you the one that basically almost got me divorced last week. So don't worry, it's not rude. It's not rude.
I was just getting ready to hit end stream straight away.
So my favorite dad joke is the old classic. What was Piglet doing? What was Piglet doing with his head down the toilet? Looking for poo. It's not awful. It's great. It's a great joke. And unfortunately, I said a joke to my wife a couple of days ago that I told her as a joke, hey, let me tell you a joke. She took it seriously and she almost divorced me. So I this is just a joke. It's not serious. I'll ask Beau, what's the difference between Iron Man and Iron Woman?
I don't know.
One's a superhero, while the other is a commander.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah. And then she slapped the hell out of me and made me do the washing up and iron all the kids' clothes.
I could see that. Yep.
Yeah. I'm scared. Like she was very mad at me.
I can imagine. I would not be wise to say that to my wife. How do you make a Kleenex dance? Put a little boogie into it. Everyone is giving them their favorite dad jokes now. I love it.
Chris James has said, let's end the stream with a famous Craig Petty product pitch for Evoke. Nobody does it better. Right. Anybody does it better than me. Did you see the video in the Facebook group? You need to load that up. When I try, right, first of all, I have to give a shout out to Javier. Javier at Murphy's Magic saved my ass with the Evoke pitch, because I tried to do the Evoke pitch and I just failed miserably multiple times. Like, I just couldn't do it. And then luckily we got Hav, who's one of the best pitch men in the world as far as I'm concerned, and he nailed it. And the Evoke trailer is amazing, and it's an amazing not because of me, in spite of me, because if they'd have used the Evoke trailer that I put together, nobody would have bought it. It was dreadful.
I want to get that video up, but it's actually on my other computer, and I kind of want to leave it for the sneak peek group. So if you want to see the video, which is beautiful, it's Craig Petty at his finest. It's available on the Facebook group. We have linked that on our socials. I'll probably even throw that into the Facebook, into the group now. Give me 1 second. I'll add it into chat. That way everyone can get in there and watch it as well. The video is incredible. I've watched it several times. I love it. It is probably my favorite thing. Whenever I'm feeling a little bit down, I always play this video. So let me just add this to chat now.
It's the worst thing I've ever done. And as for Golden Knight, you're absolutely right. She has got the patience of a saint, and I'm lucky that she didn't divorce me. So,
yep,
100% correct. I'm a terrible human being. So, yeah, but that Facebook group, that sneak peek group there with that video in it, oh my god, yeah. So
go check it out.
I can't pitch this. I can't pitch this. Javier nailed it, but me, I think I don't give it enough emotion. I'm like, hey, my name's Craig Petty, and let me tell you about Evoke. This is why you should buy Evoke. This is the greatest thing that it doesn't. You have to be like Javier. 7 of diamonds. He's 6 of clubs.
I get lost in his eyes.
Really mean anything. Like his voice is just so hypnotic. It's like, yeah, you need to be Javier.
He's a dream. He's a dream. Anyway, before we decide into how much we love, we start changing the name of this video to how much we love Javier. But on that note, I think I'll wind this up. Everyone has seemed to get all of the talks about dad jokes now. I think that's what this chat has turned into. Chat looks like it's just a dad joke chat now, which I'm okay with. But everyone, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Craig, thank you so much, Matt. Matt, you're an incredible. Matt, I wish we just, there we go. We'll see more Matt than, I want to see more Matt. Next time we just have Craig, you stick a Craig Petty face on, Matt, and jump in.
That works.
Another terrifying image to go home with.
And I would like to leave everybody with this. Please, please remember to take your photos in your bathtub with your Evoke deck and send them to Austin Murphy, telling them that we're going to constantly send these photos to Austin, and make sure it's to the attention of Austin Murphy. And if we're going to carry on sending these photos until we get a say, and then remember to say that it was Beau Kramer's idea.
Sorry, Craig, you're breaking up there, mate. We're going to end the stream now. Sorry, buddy.
That's how they got Deadpool made, wasn't it? The fans made sure that Deadpool got made as a movie, so it works. The metal's there. It's a thing. It's been tried. It's been tested. Get your cameras out. Get sending those photos. Done.
Yep.
Love to hear it. Anyway, on that note, thank you so much, Craig. Thank you so much, Matt. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. You guys are absolute legends.
See you guys soon. Thanks very much for joining us.
Legends. See you later.